you, Program Director. I'm here to talk about the experience of South Africa on the Producer Farmer Register. This is a project that started in 2019 when we officially got approval from our National Treasury to run with it. The whole purpose of it was to ensure that we try and bring a more credible statistics for smallholder farmers. Our country has a dual economy of highly developed farmers with well-structured statistics that we produce. Most of it we do respond on it when FAO is asking through the questionnaires, and then we realize that there's a lot of lack in coordination of smallholder statistics. And one of the bases of lack is because our smallholder statistics, they're very remote. Most of those farmers are in remote areas with a lack of proper advanced, sophisticated communication tools. They are not easily reachable, they are not easily responding because they don't have the means to communicate, especially in terms of technology. So we realized that we should form some form of systems and coordination within the department to use the resources to see how best to gather that information. But overall, as the first leg of trying to structure the statistics, we then decided that we should first consider the farmer register as a frame that will be merged together with the statistic business register frame. So that is as far as we went with the work. Now, so we had planned to shorten the presentation, but let me just go through this quickly. It was an agreement between the department and Statistics South Africa. At the time when they were running the commercial agriculture of statistics, focusing on commercial farmers, they ran that work earlier than the farmer register, and then the year that followed we ran the farmer register with the support and the expertise that they had. So there was a memorandum of understanding. So the ultimate goal, as I mentioned, was to do a comprehensive producer farmer register, making sure that smallholders are registered in it. So as the concept has been mentioned, your statistical register, in terms of statistics, it's not just to register farmers, but to make sure that the number of farmers that you are targeting in the future, they will then enable you to have a proper surveys, because after you have brought it in as a frame, you want to make sure that you have that basis to be able to conduct more comprehensive surveys. So hence, that's why we feel at this stage the main goal was to ensure that we build a framework. So its aim, if I don't go too much into detail, is to make sure that we improve the accuracy of the statistics. We identify properly geographically where they are, because in our recording of those farmers, we also take the GPS coordinates, and that actually the beneficiaries of smallholders, of farmers in the form of smallholders, they are properly identified and targeted, because that's another challenge that we have, that when programs are introduced, it is not clear where the farmers are and where are they located. These are some of the statistical activities that we have to observe when we do the work. The fact that we are covering the demographics of the farmers, we are enumerating almost every farmer that is in the rural areas, that is smallholder, through which the extension officers are able to access and that they work with every day. And of course, there was a question about definition. So the department had a issue with the way we're defining the farmers. I think even between us and State, it was never a clear definition. So our agricultural support policy document gave us a guide on how we should plug together the definition by using the turnover brackets. So the target that we have was for smallholder, which is something between turnover of 50,000 and 1 million. And further down will be your subsistence and your vulnerable households. I'm not going to talk too much on the national report. I will share it with the file so they can circulate it as part of the presentations that you see how the information is. Ideally, I could say our ambitions were not really met with the way the report was. The questionnaire went further into asking the infrastructures that the farmers have, the agro-processing activities that the farmers have, but because there was a lot of teething problems in the project as it was of its own kind, some of that capturing was not done very well. So with the advice of State, we were requested not to allow that data to be reported because it was not reflected very well because of some lack in the capturing that was not done. So when we did this, we launched the final report in February 2022. It was done by our minister. And there were some obvious recoveries that we found, but it was good to know that at least it's on record. It's not things that we assumed through this exercise. So we discovered that one of the key things that I observed is that we have two provinces, KwaZulu-Natal and Eastern Cape, which have some of the largest number of smallholder farmers in the country. And that most of the provinces have a larger number of male farmers than female farmers. It's only in Gauteng that you find there's more women farming than male farmers. And so this is what the picture looks like when you compare the provinces. And in terms of the age distribution of these farmers, we also find that people in their middle age areas are the ones that are farming between 36 and 60. Then the second largest is people beyond 60. And that told us something about the young adults that are getting attracted into farming over the years. And that the promotions that government has been making agriculture fashionable has worked over the years as a viable business. And indeed, if you look into the social media, a lot of young people are engaging into farming, and it's working very well for the country. And then there was an issue on access to markets. That graph not show very well, but we were trying to indicate the comparison of access to market, how most of the farmers are showing to access to markets, those that are operating on contracts and that don't have contracts. And we realized that that is still behind. A lot of the farmers are working on informal contracts that for market channels. So it's a lack that our other areas of work needs to improve on. And in that part, that's where we thought we could give him more information, but we just let it go because we think maybe when we start doing proper surveys on smallholder farmers, we can go into that information in detail. So the activities of the farmer register continues, and then we are continuing to talk to the provinces through workshops. We are training them on the systems that we have that they are using. We are ensuring that anytime they have a delay on their systems or expiry of their systems, we go and reinstall and refresh. But we want to improve the system. We want to have an app an app that's going to be available on every extension officer's cell phone, so that they can easily communicate with the farmers, and also the farmers can access that app so that they can order for a farmer of an extension officer to come and register. I'm just passing through some of the slides. And since the launch in 2022, we had about 95,000 farmers that we registered, but up until today, we have increased that number by 131,000, so we continue. The target that we are looking at is what StateSA told us in terms of they estimate the overall number of smallholder farmers to be around 300,000. So it's a continuous work up until we see that target. I mentioned the issue of the app. There's just too much detail there, but if I can summarize to say that our app is almost at final stages. We think in the first few months of the year we'll be starting to test it and demonstrate it to the department and to the extension officers so that it can be in use for both farmers and extension officer, and any professional who wants to have access to that can find some information on farmers there as we improve the technology. So as a way to keep it alive, our end goal is to make sure that it forms part of the master sampling frame, things that we need to still work on with StateSA. And over the time when we were putting the information available for use, we realized that in the department there is a lot of use for that information. Our minister was also happy with the fact that as they do intervention programs during COVID, some of that information was used to validate or show evidence that there's farmers, and who are those farmers that are being provided with support. Within our planning units, they want to use that information to verify if there is evidence-based information of farmers that have been supported when they account for performance of the department. So it's something that is becoming of broad use to the department in many areas. The vets also want to know who are those farmers that are having animals during disasters. They want to use that information to locate the farmers in the areas where they detect diseases. As you know, South Africa has had instances of FMD and things like that. So it's becoming a very useful tool. Of course, in the process, we have to observe cases of information security, the level of information we make accessible, and taking care of not exposing the information of farmers unnecessarily, especially personal details. So that is in short what we have for you, colleagues. Thank you.